You don't wake up one day and decide to chase chaos. You don't look at peace and say, no thanks. But when you've lived a life filled with emotional whiplash, where calm felt like the eye of a storm, not the end of it, your body adapts. Your nervous system learns that high alert is the default, your mind begins to associate chaos with normal, and peace feels suspicious, too quiet, too unfamiliar. Because chaos isn't just a pattern, it's a coping mechanism. It's the rhythm you learn to dance to in childhood, or in past relationships, or during the years when life kept hitting harder than you could process. It becomes background noise. So when that noise stops, it feels like something's wrong. Have you ever found yourself picking fights for no reason, or feeling uneasy when things are going well, or chasing people who treat you unpredictably while losing interest in those who are steady and kind? That's not weakness, that's trauma doing what trauma does, recreating what it knows. It's not that you want to suffer, it's that your body has mistaken chaos for safety, and without realizing it, you've built your tolerance around turbulence, not stillness. Here's the wild part. Chaos feels alive. It gives you a rush. It spikes adrenaline. It pulls your focus. It might even give you a sense of control, because you've mastered how to navigate the mess. You've learned to read the room, anticipate every mood, prepare for the worst. But that control is an illusion, because the truth is, chaos isn't just stressful, it's exhausting. It burns through your energy, your focus, your relationships. It keeps you locked in a cycle of reaction instead of intention. And when you finally taste peace, you might sabotage it. Not because it's bad, but because it's unknown. We don't trust what we don't recognize. So even though peace is what you crave, chaos is what feels right. Even if it's breaking you, that's the first step in breaking the pattern, realizing that your addiction to chaos isn't about drama, it's about nervous system memory. It's about what your body has come to expect. And it's about unlearning the idea that intensity equals intimacy, or that stress equals stability. You're not broken, you're conditioned. But the good news is, conditions can change, and you get to relearn what safety feels like. You'd think peace would feel good, and that stillness would feel safe, and that emotional stability would feel like a relief. But when you've lived in fight or flight mode long enough, calm doesn't feel like comfort, it feels like a threat. You start wondering, what's wrong, what's coming? Why does this feel empty? Because your body's been trained to expect a drop. Like the silence before a scream, the calm before the slap, the smile before the betrayal. So when there's no chaos, no sharp edge to anticipate, no drama to unravel, you don't feel peaceful. You feel exposed. You're not addicted to chaos because you love the pain. You're addicted because chaos makes sense to your nervous system. It gives you something to do, someone to fix, something to chase. It tells your body, this is what survival looks like. Stillness feels like being caught off guard, like letting your guard down, like something could blindside you any second and you won't be ready. So you fill the quiet, you stir the pot, you create movement when none is needed. Because motion, even if it's painful, feels safer than vulnerability. And let's talk about vulnerability, because that's really what peace requires. It asks you to stop bracing, to stop scanning for danger, to stop overthinking every smile, every pause, every moment of silence. That's terrifying when you've built your identity around staying one step ahead of hurt. Chaos makes you feel needed. It gives you a role: fixer, rescuer, caretaker, survivor. Peace asks you to just be, to not perform, to not protect. And if you've never known who you are without the chaos, that stillness feels like losing yourself. But here's the truth. You're not losing yourself in peace. You're meeting yourself, maybe for the first time. It will feel awkward. It might feel lonely. You may even mistake peace for boredom. But that's not boredom. That's your body learning a new rhythm, a gentler pace, a safer baseline. Peace isn't the absence of emotion, it's the absence of panic. And you deserve that. You just have to give yourself permission to trust it, even when your instincts beg you to run. One of the most heartbreaking reasons people stay addicted to chaos is this: they think it's love. Not on purpose, not consciously, but deep down, many of us were taught by experience, not textbooks, that love comes with high stakes. That love is unpredictable. That love means walking on eggshells, that it burns, breaks, heals, and burns again. Is way internalize this rhythm. Love is intense. Love is dramatic, love is painful, but worth it. We fall for people who feel familiar, not necessarily safe, not necessarily kind, but familiar. And if your earliest examples of love came with tension, volatility, or emotional withdrawal, your nervous system wires itself to expect that as part of connection, you start to equate calm with distance. You assume that when there's no conflict, there's no passion. You believe that if your heart isn't racing or your stomach isn't in knots, something must be missing. So you choose the high, you chase the spark, you forgive too much. You overlook the red flags because somewhere inside, chaos still feels like intimacy. And then you meet someone calm, someone kind, someone who doesn't play games or make you guess. And it feels off, too easy, too soft, too quiet, because chaos taught you that love meant proving your worth, earning affection, saving someone, being chosen eventually instead of consistently. It's not your fault, it's conditioning, but if you don't challenge it, it becomes your blueprint. Here's the shift. Real love isn't loud. It doesn't demand you sacrifice yourself. It doesn't need chaos to stay interesting. Love can be steady and deep. It can feel like breathing, like exhaling after years of holding your breath. But you have to rewire the belief that love without chaos is boring, because it's not. It's healing, it's peaceful, and peace is not the absence of love, it's what love looks like when it's no longer fighting to survive. You are allowed to let love be gentle. You are allowed to let calm feel good. You are allowed to choose people who don't ignite fires just to watch you put them out, because love isn't meant to be a battlefield. It's meant to be a home. Here's what nobody tells you about healing from chaos. It doesn't feel peaceful at first. It feels wrong. It feels dull. It feels like something important is missing. Because chaos created a high and emotional spike, a sense of purpose, and when you start to let that go, your nervous system panics. You think, am I settling? Why do I feel so numb? Where's the spark? But what you're really feeling is withdrawal. Not from love, not from meaning, but from the addiction to noise. It takes time for your body to adjust to peace, to recalibrate, to understand that calm doesn't mean danger. That silence doesn't mean rejection. That stillness doesn't mean the other shoe is about to drop. Choosing peace isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily choice. It's the moment you stop texting the person who only calls when they're bored. It's the breath you take before reacting to the old trigger. It's the quiet no you whisper when everything in you wants to run back to the fire. You'll miss the drama sometimes. That's real, because for a long time chaos gave you something to feel. Even if it was pain, it felt alive. But peace isn't empty. It's spacious. It makes room for actual joy, not adrenaline, not panic, not survival, joy. And with that joy comes presence, clarity, room to grow, room to breathe. That's when you start noticing the difference between peace and boredom, between calm and disconnect, between love and chaos. You'll start catching yourself in the old pattern and choosing differently, not because it's easy, but because you're no longer available for the pain you once called love. You're not boring for wanting peace. You're not weak for stepping away from chaos. You're not broken because healing feels awkward. You're just new. New to safety, new to self-respect, new to rest. You don't need to earn love by suffering. You don't need to chase storms to feel worthy. You don't need to live in crisis to feel alive. You get to choose peace, even if it doesn't feel natural yet, even if your hands shake while you do it, even if your heart grieves what chaos used to give you. This is the part where you learn that calm isn't the absence of life. It's the beginning of living it fully.